Hi everyone, I'm Alison Laing from CSIRO and I'm here with Dr. Mahesh Gathala from CIMMYT Bangladesh. We're discussing capacity building in the early years of the SRFSI project. Many different capacity building activities were undertaken and now we're going to give you a brief overview of these. Maheshji, could you give us an overview of the key areas in which the SRFSI project focused on knowledge building, please?
Thanks, Alison. There were three key areas in which the SRFSI project undertook capacity building. These were developing a shared understanding of conservation agriculture-based sustainable intensification crop management practices and technologies, learning how to work together as a big project team, and then third one is detailed hands-on practical training on all aspects. Capacity building was a major focus in the early years of the SRFSI project, as we recognize that upskilling was necessary to the success of the project.
And turning to the first of these, developing a shared understanding of CASI. This was important to ensure that everyone working on the project had the same understanding. Could you explain how you went about developing this shared understanding of CASI and who received this training?
Early on, we spent time with all project participants to make sure they understood the different aspects of CASI. People might focus on one element of CASI, such as zero tillage and manipulation and tillage only, but really it is whole package and management practices. So we took time to explain the whole package and practices and all the benefits of the whole package, to the technologies and for the CASI. We explained the project objectives and likely benefits for the communities. We also answered all their questions and worked to build their trust in the project. We developed common protocols and data meta sheets for everyone in the projects to use. So that could be like the same, data and then data sheets and data collections and then understanding. We talked to all project participants, scientists, extension agencies, local communities, farmers, policymakers, and private sector.
Thank you. And next, we spent time learning how to work together as a project team with many members. What sort of capacity building was undertaken here?
Our primary goal in SRFSI was to support farmers in their fields. To do this, the farmers needed good local support. We trained technicians from local communities in our expectations of them in their day-to-day interactions with farmers, so they could support the farmers. But simultaneously, because it was important that this project was more focused on mechanization, so we trained in machine calibrations, maintenance, quick fixes, using improved varieties and good agricultural practices, hands-on training on all, and how to operate, what was the seed depth, how much seed depth, how much seed rates, and in different crops and different crop spacing, line spacing and so on. So we trained how to grow nursery, met nursery for mechanized, rice transplanting and all. We had to acknowledge the different priorities of all organizations, participants in the project, and negotiate ways in which we could work together to achieve project goals. And at the same time, achieve goal for the organizations and the individuals within them. Many researchers and scientists were interested in opportunity for technical upskilling.
And the biggest part of capacity building were the detailed training activities. There were many aspects here, so let's start by talking about the training of farmers and technicians in CASI practices.
This was really very essential to SRFSI. Without knowledge, knowledgeable human resources, it was not possible of effectively implementation of CASI in the farmers field. We use the first year of the field trial was as a training year, where we, farmers and technicians could report any problems and the research team worked with them to enable them to be confident in the CASI technologies. And we were not only farmers and operators and technicians, but also scientists, research and extension and private and all, international actors must be on the same page. So we took 6 months as a kind of training year, and then we came on the same, pace and an understanding of that CASI. CASI training was excellent to later on farmers help, civil societies groups, technical support staff, machinery operators, agri input dealers, and service providers. So all we were, of the improved practices. We organize advanced conservation agriculture based assessment training for some researchers. It's on priority basis and identified on as per their expertise and all from each national partner organization and geographic area.
And once we started to get results, we used these to demonstrate the field trials to other farmers as well, didn't we?
Yes, and indeedly it was very helpful. We organized farmer field days, field, demonstration days, traveling seminars, and other opportunities for farmer to farmer discussion and cross-border knowledge sharing about the CASI. Farmers talking to farmer is the best way to share knowledge, understanding about the new technologies.
And so the SRFSI project also built capacity in existing community organisations, such as farmer civil society groups, didn't it? Could you explain a little about what the project did here?
As we explained previously, that in this project, we use the existing infrastructure, which is developed by the government agencies, development agency, NGOs, and then private sector. So we catalyze these all farmer civil societies groups and increase their focus to include agronomic support and train them as a micro entrepreneurships to give the single window services. Over time, these groups became, one-stop shops for all resources related to CASI, seed, fertilizers, crop establishment, machinery hire, access to private sector entrepreneurs, and agro-advisory service. And also that's their day-to-day other civil societies groups like social groups and then sanitaries and all also. And then they also have related some market. Very popular model. We started with 3 groups, and now there are over 100 groups which are associated with us with SRFSI project.
And apart from the training in the CASI practices themselves, what other sorts of training activities were undertaken in SRFSI?
So that's very important, because we cannot give only the capacity building on what we want, because there are many things that these farmer communities need on capacity building and their understanding. So that's why we have a training on gender related, which was led by Curtin and UWA University. And then, University of Queensland, provided the training on advanced soil quality index monitoring and then soil health. CSIRO provided training on crop simulation modeling, sample collections, methodologies, demonstrations, and later on, it was focused on innovation platform, which was one of the key success, platforms that's achievements in this project. IFRI and CIMMYT provided training on policy engagement and water management practices in others. ID led trainings in micro entrepreneurship and marketing related trainings to engage private sector and how to link with that. And there was additional support training in paper writing, giving effective presentations and other aspects of research, which developed strong capacity in their partner institutions. Despite of that, that's individual scientists and extension and all stakeholders, they interacted with each other and they learn and they, upskill their knowledge with time. And we can see these significant, changes in individual scientists and individual scientists as well as in organizations.
Absolutely. There have definitely been some really big changes. Maheshji, thank you for this very quick summary of training activities and capacity building in the early years of the SRFSI project. A lot of thought and effort went into ensuring that all project participants were well trained, and this contributed significantly to the ultimate success of SRFSI.
Thank you, Alison, and thank you. I would like to again thankful to all SRFSI family, and then who contributed, from national system and then from development and then from international organizations, and then from donor side as well. So we would like to, and then we like to also, mention that's top guided by the, steering committee. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Maheshji.